Lin Zishe squatted on the street, looking at the Silver Snake building across from him. He took out his phone and pressed the number. Hello, Liu Qiang. I want to make a movie called Wujian Jianghu. Does it sound like a bad movie? Shouldn't we give Silver Snake brother face first? Keywords of the novel. Hong Kong variety show. Cao Dahua is an undercover agent with no pop-ups by my side. Hong Kong variety show. Cao Dahua is an undercover agent by my side. Complete download of TXT, Hong Kong variety show. Cao Dahua is an undercover agent by my side. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Silver Snake. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 1. Silver Snake. 1988, Yaomati. Beautiful neon signs, balconies shimmering with red lights. Cao Dahua, a middle-aged man with a chubby beard and a scumbag, is hiding in a corner and speaking on the phone. Huang sir, I'm just a grass shoe. What's up with me in the biennial and joint winning elections? Cha Daoyu's performance is good. Do you call me Cha De D and Lin Huila? The D is more wicked than others. Lin Huila is just a Yubuchuan. Huang sir, are you asking me to die? Give me face, Mr. Huang. As the sound of flushing the toilet rang in the office, Cao Dahua, who was undercover with Liu Qiang, cleverly hung up the phone and Lin Zishe, who had walked out of the toilet, shook off the water on her hand. Lin Zishe was dressed in a black punk jacket, with a rose-red shirt inside, jeans and white polka shoes underneath. She had a guafuching hairstyle with a center cut and ear length, and wore silver snake earrings on both sides. She looked handsome like a creamy little boy. Cao Dahua looked at Lin Zishe, who used to be a horse driver, and the current boss, Silver Snake, with some size. A few years ago, when I first arrived, I was called the Lush Snake. Now everyone is called the Silver Snake brother. After spending more than a decade, I still call myself Malanda. Lin Zishe traveled to Hong Kong Comprehensive World and was hinted at as an undercover agent after only a few days at the police academy. However, on the day she left the academy, someone threw her head off the rooftop. This he planned to join the club and wait for the next contact person, but unexpectedly met the undercover agent Cao Dahua, who was working with Liu Qiang. At this time, Cao Dahua had not returned to the police force before he even had time to play truant in the Weilong plot. Having a companion can be considered the greatest comfort in recent years. Lin Zishe looked at Cao Dahua and wanted to tease him, but he said in a mournful voice, Malanda, how did I hear you shouting, sir, 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 in the restroom? You're not an undercover agent, are you? Cao Dahua shivered all over, his forehead constantly sweating, and his right hand trembling like a reward for himself. Where? There is something, I'm just calling, she, can't Uncle De even call, she, from behind? Do we have to call, Silver Snake brother? Cao Dahua straightened his back when he thought of the reason, deserving of his soft and hard-eating temperament. Linzi society is easy-going, generous, and values loyalty. When I first arrived at Liu Qiang, I still worked with myself. If he dares to say this to others, he will definitely be beaten up, and even swimming in the river is possible. Lin Zishe squinted his eyes, his gaze fixed on Cao Dahua's face for a long time, until Cao Dahua was so scared that he swallowed. He smiled and patted Cao Dahua's shoulder, saying, it's best if it's a bye, otherwise. You have to learn how to perform acrobatics with only your hands, only performing acrobatics with hands. Cao Dahua's right hand began to shake again due to nervousness, and the cold sweat on his forehead was like rain. Lin Zishe turned behind Cao Dahua, and he said in Cao Dahua's ear with a mournful tone, I must cut off his legs and poison him when dealing with undercover agents, sell him to perform acrobatics at the Taigua Underground Abnormality Museum, eat upside down, and defecate upside down. Cao Dahua looked embarrassed and said, Silver Snake brother, is that a bit too cruel? What do you think we should do? Silver Snake brother, how about catching an undercover agent and chopping fingernails? Shoo Uncle De, I really miss you. Lin Zishe sat on the sofa and talked about business. Uncle is very satisfied with the numbers in the past few months. The big shot you two gave me a few streets. I don't have that much thought about building an entertainment city lately. I plan to split it up between you and the gecko. Thank you, Silver Snake brother. Cao Dahua is really happy. He has been working as an undercover agent for 18 years, and he has been bowing and bowing in the stable every day. Even if he doesn't have a good time, the big shots will hit people without giving money. Sometimes Cao Dahua can't distinguish whether he's a gangster or a police officer. Cowardly and unable to stand out, he has never been able to make significant contributions to return to the police force. In movies, there are always a few undercover agents who return to the police force, most of whom either die on the streets or are like himself, unable to return. Now he, Cao Dahua, is also someone who has a chance. He's holding his big brother and going out with a younger brother. Maybe he'll have a chance to go back when he's in power. Cao Dahua sighed inwardly, and after regaining his senses, he began to flatter Lin Zishe. I knew Silver Snake brother would make a name for himself long ago. As soon as I arrived at Malin, I said that today's service attitude is not good. We need to treat customers like gods and train them all to learn martial arts moves and new musical instruments. Our field suddenly became prosperous. As soon as Lin Zishe heard this topic, his expression on the face became understandable to all men. Hey, don't say that. It is only by standing on the giant shoulders of the cherry blossom tree that this achievement can be achieved. Cao Dahua raised his thumb, and the smile of the two men looking at each other was very strong. Silver Snake brother is the most powerful. Lin Zishe counted today's amount, put it into a craft paper bag, and casually threw the bag on the table. He plans to open an entertainment city that integrates food, drink, play, and entertainment, where money, land, and people are the most scarce. Uncle Da, how are people getting in touch? I have contacted several companies and they have all agreed, but there is also a mom with a really great girl who is still hesitating. Please contact me and wait for me to come over and discuss. Lin Zishe thought about it and realized that there was a huge gap in the entertainment city, and people were being lured everywhere, inevitably causing friction. He didn't want to be cut into pieces just when he went out. Uncle Da, those few families have agreed. You won't force yourself to come, will you? No, I did everything Silver Snake instructed me to do, and prying people is all about the morality of the martial arts world. I'll give you enough money. The Lin Zi society was covered in black lines, and giving enough money was the key. He thought about how smooth Uncle Da wouldn't offend anyone and wouldn't tell himself. Uncle Da was even more afraid of death than himself. That's good. We are business people, so try to avoid fighting and killing as much as possible. Cao Dahua was speechless when he heard Lin Zishe's words. He had never heard such a thing before. And with Liancheng and business people. Cao Dahua smiled and nodded in agreement with Lin Zi society, picking up the phone to contact his mother. Yes, Silver Snake brother. We are business people, so fighting and killing is not suitable for us. Cao Dahua's seduction seems to be innate, even over the phone. Hello, I'm with Liancheng Malanda. Ruby, what have you decided? We are very sincere now. My boss Silver Snake wants to come and talk to you. If you have any opinions, you can meet and discuss them. Okay, Ruby, I'll see you later. Cao Dahua, who hung up the phone, said, Silver Snake brother, do you want to go over? The wealthy man in Sham Shui Pe. We're going over now. Lin Zishe nodded at Cao Dahua and pushed open the office door with a craft paper bag. Standing at the door were the leading horse, Fierce Fire, and Gecko. Fierce Fire was 1.88 meters tall, with strong muscles all over his body. The broken eyebrows at the center of his eyebrows were even more ferocious. The gecko's long hair is dyed with a few green strands, and its body appears thin and weak, but it is actually tough. Big shot. Big shot. A wealthy man from Sham Shui Pe. The lazy corners of Lin Zishe's mouth slightly curled up to show a smile, and she nodded to everyone with both hands in her pockets, leading the way down. Cantonese is a dialect, sometimes written for better context and description. Just like what Chongqing often says about Guowazi, being a fool is not as interesting. Please approach it rationally. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Crown Prince Hongtai. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Crown Prince Hongtai Sham Shui Pe, a wealthy man. Lin Zishe looked out the window at the bustling tycoons and the beautiful Cheongsam ladies seeing off guests at the door. Uncle De, no one answered the phone. Silver Snake brother, no one picked him up. Maybe he was taken by a regular customer to have a drink. Wait a minute, the four of us will go in, and the others will stay in the car. When working in someone else's place, it is necessary to guide people to greet them to avoid misunderstandings. Lin Zishe got off the car and walked into the wealthy man. The Cheongsam lady at the door saw a bright light in Lin Zishe's eyes. A bold Cheongsam lady approached and asked, "Are you guys coming to play?" "Find Ruby." "Looking for Sister Ruby, she's greeting Brother Xiang and Prince." "Prince brother." The Linzi Society has heard of this name and I don't know which crown prince it is. It would be better if it weren't a crown prince that Hong Xing was very capable of fighting against. The enthusiastic Cheongsam lady led everyone in and whispered to the manager. The manager with a combed back walked over and said kindly, "Looking for Ruby. Is it Silver Snake brother from Liancheng? Ruby told me that she is drinking with Hongtai's crown prince brother, and Wei Jixiang is also inside." Lin Zishe heard Wei Jixiang squint his eyes, and then he knew which movie it was, The Crown Prince. "Take me over. Silver Snake brother, don't make things difficult for me. I said, take me over." The tone of Linzi Society is unquestionable. The scumbag of Long in the martial arts movies, Crown Prince Hongtai, is the most infuriating villain. The head back manager wanted to say a few more words, but suddenly he lifted the head back manager's collar in a fit of anger. "Can't you understand my boss's words? Don't hit anyone, big shot, I'll take you there right away." The head back manager led the group of Lin Zishe along the way, occasionally winking at the waiters. Lin Zishe coldly told Menghua, "Call the people outside to prepare." "Okay, big shot." Prince Hongtai was pressing Ruby to become stronger, and his desire was very straightforward. Ruby's heart sank and he struggled desperately, shouting, "Pretend to be noble, bitch. Dare to stand me up. You're currently in a nightclub, thinking you're Miss Xiangjiang. Can't being a mommy be done for others? I'm going to do it here tonight, you." Wei Jixiang walked up to persuade the crown prince, and his hesitant expression made people laugh. "Crown prince, crown prince. Did the crown prince overdo it?" The crown prince punched Wei Jixiang directly in the face, and the crown prince, who was pressed against Ruby, turned his head and playfully asked Wei Jixiang, "What are you doing? Do you feel heartbroken?" Wei Jixiang touched his bleeding nose, feeling helpless. He dared not respond to the crown prince's words. His ears echoed as Ruby struggled and shouted, with a hint of ferocity in his eyes. The crown prince tore at Ruby's Cheongsam, revealing the carved tattoos on her chest. Wei Jixiang had 2 carved tattoos on her chest, and the crown prince cursed loudly, both male and female eagles. "Bastard, you still have one leg." The crown prince has no sense of brotherhood in his mind, and instead feels that his younger brother, Paparazzi Xiang, has an affair with Ruby. He is angry and wants to kill someone. At this moment, the door was pushed open, and when Lin Zishe saw the scene inside, a flame surged up in her heart. The crown prince raised his hand and slapped Ruby, pointing his fingers at her face in a ferocious manner. "Stepping on a horse, there's also a little white-faced mistress. You're really good. Stand me up. Don't do it for me. There are quite a few mistresses. Leave them for me." The crown prince, consisting of 7 or 8 people, rushed forward to surround Lin Zishe and others. Lin Zishe looked down at her own hands and then looked up at Prince Hongtai. Lin Zishe slightly lowered her body and tiptoed up on her left foot, swinging her arm with a large punch. He could see the ripples of his fist on the face of the Crown Prince's younger brother, and his gaze gradually faded. Lin Zishe lifted her right leg and flipped over the Crown Prince's younger brother who came to help. The younger brother jumped up in the air and directly hit the table, causing his body to twitch and his eyes to be lifeless. Then he picked up a wine bottle and smashed it onto the head of the rushing person, his face stained with star blood. Fierce fire picked up the Crown Prince's younger brother and smashed him underground, even fiercely patching up a foot. The gecko posed in Muay Thai, and the sudden knee lift instantly solved one person. In less than a minute, the 3 members of the Lin Zishe society solved 7 or 8 people. At this moment, the Crown Prince wanted to run, but was pulled by the fierce fire and leaned towards his face. The fierce fire asked with a ferocious smile, "Where do you want to go?" The fierce fire fiercely pressed the Crown Prince to the ground, and the Crown Prince's head made an intimate contact with the floor. The intense dizziness almost made the Crown Prince faint. Cao Dahua, who didn't know how to fight, cleverly went out and turned left to guide the brothers outside. Only then did Cao Dahua, who arrived at the scene, let out a furious cry, "Who dares to touch my boss? I only arrived after everyone had solved it, how could I be like a bad guy?" Lin Zishe society, Menghua, and Gecko all rolled their eyes. Lin Zishe stood in the messy VIP hall, bent down and pulled out a tissue paper from the ground, slowly wiping the blood stains on her face and hands, winning together, Silver Snake. "Damn it, Crown Prince Hongtai, let go of me immediately, otherwise Hongtai won't let you go." Lin Zishe lifted her white wave shoes soaked in alcohol and stepped on the Crown Prince's right hand. The scattered glass fragments on the ground pierced the Crown Prince's palm, causing him to scream in pain. He raised his foot and ground it hard, and the Crown Prince let out a joyful shout that made him happy. Lin Zishe looked down at the screaming Crown Prince and shook his head. He picked up Marlboro from the table, lit it, and took a deep breath, exhaling a thin mist. "Could you please?" Lin Zishe looked at the rising smoke with a relaxed gaze, and the prince howling incessantly below made him unable to think. He crouched down and looked at the embarrassed Crown Prince. The Crown Prince's forehead was in pain and he was sweating cold. Lin Zishe used a tissue to wipe the Crown Prince's sweat, and every contact of the tissue made the Crown Prince's body tremble with fear. "Ah, open your mouth." The Crown Prince didn't know what the Lin Zishe society wanted to do, and even though he was a mermaid, he could only obediently open his mouth. He saw a blushing cigarette end fall on his tongue and be vigorously crushed. "Ah, ah, 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 ah. Your voice is so unpleasant." Lin Zishe stood up and patted the broken glass on her jacket. She walked up to Ruby, who was disheveled and at a loss, and reached out her hand, "Silver Snake." "Nice to meet you." Ruby looked at this fair hand and couldn't imagine the violence in the Lin Zishe society just now. "Ruby. Nice to meet Silver Snake brother." Lin Zishe shrugged her head and gestured whether she wanted to go out with her. Ruby had already thought of something else in her heart, and she blushed and nodded slightly. Lin Zishe left with her own people, while Ruby pulled a cheongsam and followed with her head lowered. Wei Jixiang walked over and bowed, saying, "Silver Snake brother, this is my friend. I'll just take her back and don't bother Silver Snake brother anymore. Get lost." Lin Zishe's face didn't even turn, and Ruby beside her glanced at Wei Jixiang, who felt both heartbroken and angry. The Lin Zishe society group walked straight out of the wealthy and no one dared to stop them, even in the territory of Hongtai Sham Shui Pa. Lin Zishe turned to look at the door of the wealthy man and said to the fierce fire beside him, "By cannons from Snake's Imena. Boss, should I tell Grandpa about it? I'll call the big shot later." "Boss, are you going to fight?" Lin Zishe understood the meaning of the fierce fire, and the movie plot that appeared in his eyes. He immediately nodded firmly. "Well, we need to fight. Menghua helped Lin Zishe open the car door and saw Ruby about to sit in. Lin Zishe looked at Ruby in confusion. You sit in the back car. Oh. Oh, Ruby was first puzzled and then dejected. She looked at the handsome Lin Zishe and sighed in her heart. How could such a handsome boss lack women? I am really foolish. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Night before film opening. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Night before film opening. Lin Zishe called the big shot Fish Head Label with his big brother. Fish Head Label was on duty at night to arrange for manpower to transport goods, and he walked to the roadside in the distance. Silver Snake, what's wrong with coming to you so late, Ada? Ada, I just beat Crown Prince Hongtai in Sham Shui Po. Are you okay? Ada, I'm fine, but the Crown Prince is very busy. I think he's going to fight that old man Hongtai by May. Is there no possibility of putting on a cocktail? Yes, but I don't want to. Yu Tu Biao pondered with a calm face. Yu Tu Biao was a big shot who valued his disciples, especially his treatment of Tu Ma Fei and Silver Snake. Years of ups and downs made him appear smooth and kind, but in fact, he was just low-key. Silver Snake, Ada support you. If you want to fight, just kill me. Do you need people or money? I'll give 500 people and 1,000 money, but it's not enough for me to borrow money from a big borrower. The Lin Zishe has a good impression of the fish head logo, whether in movies or in recent years of contact, but the fish head logo has always been a fan. In the first part of the Dragon City era, there is still the figure of the fish head emblem, while in the second part, the fish head emblem, which values harmony, is no longer present. Perhaps dead, perhaps imprisoned for life. Lin Zishe glanced at Cao Dahua ahead, perhaps due to the disappearance of Yu Tu Biao. Cao Dahua left He Lianxing to go undercover at the St. Petersburg school to follow Zhou Xingxing, and finally returned to the police force. In the past few years, Lin Zishe has known no fewer uncles than Yu Tu Biao, and perhaps even more people than Yu Tu Biao. Ada, I don't need anything, I just need a word from you. Silver Snake, I'll support you. Thank you very much, Ada. Ada will always support you. Ada, help me follow the process for my appointment with Bai Mei tomorrow. Okay, no problem. I'll call Deng Bo later and let him know. Lin Zishe and his group drove to the place where Snake Ximing was. The iron fence that was originally separated was opened, and two young people walked out from inside. When they saw the Lin Zishe group, they aimed their guns at each other. Lin Zishe smiled when she saw the two of them looking nervous. He recognized who the two were, Yizi and Turbo from Jianghu, and brother and left from over a decade later. Yizi and Turbo drew their long-awaited life and death contracts to help the club take down Al Yang's position, but the boss gave them a watermelon knife, so they had to come to Snake Ximing to buy cannons. Snake Ximing not only sold them, but also wanted to take them down. In the end, Yizi killed Snake Ximing with the police gun he had snatched. Lin Zishe naturally raised her hands and said calmly, no malice, just buying a cannon. Turbo, holding the gun, glanced at Yizi, who nodded. The two of them lowered the muzzle slightly. Lin Zishe put down his hands and raised an eyebrow to look at the young brother and left hand. Olung already knows. Snake cubs like to eat two ends, and the news about you two has already been spread out. Also, think about why your big shot gave you a watermelon knife to do things. Turbo's eyes showed confusion, and the poker face of Yizi also stirred up waves. Yizi solemnly told Lin Zishe, thank you. If you have anything to do, you can come to me through Yao Ma Di. My name is Silver Snake. There are still many guns inside, we can't take them away. Yizi fixed his mind and gazed into the distance, his expression becoming even colder. Turbo inserted his pistol into his waist, and as he passed by Lin Zishe and others, Turbo kept thanking them, thank you, thank you. Without your reminder, we might not know how to die. Thank you very much. After we finish our task, we will treat you to a good meal. Lin Zishe looked at the backs of the two people who had gone far away. The protagonist in Jianghu was a very capable couple, and I don't know if there was a chance to take them in. Let's go in and sweep the goods. Yes, big shot. The patrolling obese police officer who was handcuffed in the parking lot, seeing such a large group of people, couldn't hide even if he was handcuffed, immediately closed his eyes and kept reciting, "I can't see. I can't see. I can't see." The obese police officer saw a group of people leaving the Lin Zishe society and kept muttering, "Dead, dead. I lost my gun. I just heard gunshots. It's not like my gun killed someone, is it? It's not like this bad luck, is it?" Lin Zishe went inside and finished sweeping the goods of Snake Ziming before leaving. She gave a fierce glance at Ruby in the car behind her. "Boss, what about the woman behind me? Take it to my house for shelter." "Malanda, fierce fire, Gecko, don't sleep tonight, get ready to fight. Tomorrow, go through a process with Bai Mei and start fighting." The three of them had different expressions, and the fierce fire looked serious and clenched their fists. The Gecko howled excitedly, and Cao Dahua looked at the big brother with great hesitation. "Okay, big shot. Okay, big shot. Okay, big shot." Ruby nodded awkwardly at his home in Yaomati near the Lin Zishe society. Lin Zishe society walked in and picked up a bottle of cola from the fridge to drink. "Ruby, don't stand, come in. You won't be able to go back to your home in Sham Shui Pa tonight. Bai Mei will definitely find someone to scratch you. Stay with me tonight." Ruby walked into the Lin Zishe society's house with a slightly nervous expression, tightly fastened on her unbuttoned cheongsam. When a woman walked into a stranger's house, she still felt scared. "Excuse me, Silver Snake brother." Lin Zishe closed her eyes and leaned against the sofa, telling Ruby about the household items. "Clothes, you wear my shirt, take a shower over there, take a towel from the hanger, and there is a hot milk spot in the fridge to drink. Hot milk can soothe the mood." Ruby looked at Lin Zishe's side face, and the soft moonlight reflected on her face. She couldn't help but marvel at how handsome this kid was. Ruby's legs tightened as she thought of the violent behavior of the Lin Zishe society. After taking a shower, Ruby wore a Lin Zishe shirt, giving off an oversized feeling. She didn't even need to wear pants on her lower body, and her boyfriend looked cool. After taking a shower, Lin Zishe rubbed her head with a towel and lay exhausted on the sofa, with both hands caressing his temples. Ruby's soft voice came in. "Silver Snake brother, I'll help you press your head." "Okay." Lin Zishe society did not refuse, he did need to relax. Lin Zishe society came out with only a towel wrapped around it. Ruby pretended to press his head and admire Lin Zishe society's abdominal muscles, as well as his perfectly unattractive male dog waist, which was about to die. Ruby secretly scrutinized the face of Lin Zishe, which was clearly a very profound and unforgettable face. How could it keep people wanting to see it? Her face was getting closer and closer to the Lin Zishe society, and her long green hair brushed against the face of the Lin Zishe society. Lin Zishe's eyelashes trembled as he slowly opened his eyes, and what caught his eye were Ruby's beautiful, spring-like eyes, all in silence. Ruby whispered softly in his ear, "Silver Snake brother, you worked hard today." "Ruby." Lin Zishe grabbed Ruby's waist, her hands touching her silky smooth, pulling her waist to embrace her, feeling each other's breathing closely. The two of them looked at each other and smiled in unison. The night moon is like a curtain of dreams, and the spring breeze is gentle for 10 miles. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Negotiation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Negotiation. Yaomati, 20.00 The unusual atmosphere in Yaomati, the time when joyful guests are in high spirits at 8 p.m., is a place of entertainment where families pull brakes, standing on the roadside, talking on the phone, counting people, and carrying travel bags. The curious kids followed one after another with vans and small vans. The tiger head rushing towards the middle of the road quickly stopped and joined forces with Lienzi. As Lin Zishe stepped out of the car door with one foot, Lienzi, who was rushing to show his face, kept shouting his name. Silver Snake Brother. Silver Snake Brother. Silver Snake Brother. The momentum was deafening, and Lin Zishe's face was calm. She wrapped her hand around Ruby's waist and walked towards Lin Zishe in flames. He smiled and said, "Ada, the iron tree is blooming. Blaze on you, say these things." Ruby appeared shy under the fierce teasing scrutiny, while the gecko, who had just been prepared, walked up to the Lin Zishe society with blood boiling in his hands. "Silver Snake Brother, everything has been taken care of. Where is Malanda?" "I don't know, he said he went to the restroom, maybe he ran away by taking urine." "Your grandfather is coming soon, he won't wait until he comes back." Cao Dahua hid in the closed nightclub, opening the toilets one by one. After confirming that no one was there, he answered the phone and saw that the other end directly sprayed Cao Dahua. "Cao Dahua. How did you do things? What's wrong with Huang sir, what's going on? What's going on? You're such a big shot showing off your horse. You don't know. I just found out. You. Don't be angry, Mr. Huang. There's nothing to say about the release of Gupuzi every day. You big shot Silver Snake has gathered over 1,000. Huang sir, I admit the scene is a bit big, but I really don't know." The fish-headed car came from the corner, along with the same plane from Lindsay Society. The plane could hear the cry of the Silver Snake through the glass window, and he was envious. Eutubio looked out the window with joy at the crowds of Lienzi. The power of the Silver Snake was much greater than he had imagined, and this time choosing to support the Silver Snake was not wrong. Lin Zishe pulled open the car door of the fish head sign and warmly shouted, "Ada, Silver Snake." Lin Zishe and Eutubio exchanged a smile, and Eutubio patted the Silver Snake's shoulder and said, "Yuma D has made a lot of noise and color for you. All of them are supported by Ada. Say these things." The fish head badge introduced the plane with an inch left beside it, and the plane took a step forward with a somewhat restrained expression. "This is your senior colleague's plane. Silver Snake is good. Ada's top horse is a plane. I often hear Ada say. It's my first time seeing you today, so come and take a walk in Yaomadi more often in the future." Lin Zishe shook hands with the plane with a friendly smile, and with Lianqing's first ruthless fighter plane, he followed the rules and morals, and he liked it. Eutubio sees all of this in his eyes, and he is even more pleased with the Linzi Society. He hopes that the Linzi Society can promote and develop his own style. At 9 o'clock, Sham Shui Pahuaji Restaurant. "Ada, it's almost time. Let's go." The Linzi Society recruited Ruby to the side of the fish head mark, "My woman Ruby." "Silver Snake, would you also look for women? I thought you were a monk." Ruby shyly hid in the arms of the Silver Snake and said, "Hello big shot. Don't be so afraid of ugliness, everyone's own people." The fish head badge lifted its watch and looked at it, "Silver Snake, it's almost time. Get in the car." "Okay, Ada." Lin Zishe and Ruby ride in the fish-headed car, while the fierce fire and gecko ride in their own tiger-headed car. The gecko is about to start a fire and leave, only to hear Cao Dahua, who has a beer belly in the distance, shout out, "Hey, I haven't gotten in the car yet. Demon Malanda." The gecko deliberately drove forward and pretended to be walking. The middle-aged man Cao Dahua chased after him with funny steps. The gecko stopped driving for a few hundred meters and extended its head out of the window. "Malanda, I've been waiting for you every time. Sorry, I've been constipating lately. Eat more bananas to prevent constipation. It will be the next time." "Boss, why are you standing like a pillar? Get on the car now, should I open the car door for you?" Cao Dahua quickly opened the car door and saw a black line in the flames inside. He didn't even know what the big shot was interested in Cao Dahua. Such praise for him might be a nostalgia for the big shot. Hongtai's white eyebrows sat on the folding chair, while the crown prince, who had wrapped his hands, kicked the dog cage fiercely with his feet. The young man beside him also used an electric stick to heat Wei Jixiang, who was locked inside the dog cage. Wei Jixiang's face was stained with blood and his consciousness was no longer clear. He spoke weakly, "It wasn't me who called it. Paparazzi Xiang. Didn't you call me? You were so punctual. How dare you lie? Prince, I also saved you. Paparazzi Xiang, do so many people here need you to help me?" Wei Jixiang was pressed against his waist with an electric baton, and his flesh was bruised and purple like necrosis, leaving his throat without even the strength to scream. The horse next to him walked downstairs and said in Bai Mei's ear, "It's almost 9 o'clock, we need to negotiate with Fishbone. Let go, let go. We need to negotiate with that kid from Liancheng. Son, I will definitely help you find a place this time." The crown prince turned around and fiercely wanted to eat people. "I want him to die. Let's go." Wei Jixiang's tense nerves and body relaxed, and in the moment of relaxation, he couldn't hold on and fell into a coma. Sham Shui Pe, Huaji Restaurant. A group of people from Lin Zishe society, with over 100 cars alone, gathered at the entrance of Huaji Restaurant. Seeing this posture, Hongtai's younger brothers dared not go and ask questions. Standing on the second floor, Bai Mei's face was unsightly, and it didn't seem like he wanted to reconcile with Liancheng. He was still showing off his horse in his own field. Yu Tu Biao got off the car and led the way into Huaji Restaurant. Lin Zishe stood at the bottom of the building and exchanged a glance with Bai Mei on the second floor. "Is it a fish head sign? Grandpa is on the second floor. Take us up there. Search your body as usual. Can I ask you to keep quiet?" The Lin Zishe society pushed away the young man who wanted to search, and the group walked straight up. The young man standing at the staircase glanced at the scene of the crowd at the entrance of Huaji and silently retreated. Sitting in the innermost position with a black face and white eyebrows, beside him were his son, the crown prince, and brother, Barong. The fish head sign is seated in the center, and the plain Lin Zishe society are sitting on both sides, while Ruby is next to Lin Zishe society. Lin Zishe squinted her eyes, and Bai Mei, this old guy, also wanted to eat us. It was located at the innermost part of the second floor, and when the restaurant closed and pulled the gate, she and others were surrounded. Bai Mei said rudely, relying on her seniority, "Are you negotiating with Liancheng for the first time? Bringing so many people to my territory? Who taught me this without proper rules? You Hongtai is so wicked, I'm afraid and timid." Lin Zishe gave a nonchalant answer, and this embarrassing matter must have been answered by him, not by a big shot. The crown prince slammed the table hard and pointed at the Lin Zishe society, cursing loudly, "Where do you think you are? In whose territory? How dare you be so arrogant? Is Hongtai's territory? It seems like there aren't many people around, right?" Lin Zishe smiled and looked very disdainful, and in the next moment, her face suddenly changed and she stared fiercely at the crown prince. "Do you dare to touch my woman? You're so special, there's nothing that my crown prince can't touch. Believe it or not, I'll keep you from leaving Sham Shui Pe tonight." Lin Zishe raised an eyebrow and replied with disdain, "Ha." End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Passing 12 points. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Passing 12 points. When Bai Mei heard the crown prince say the wrong thing, he quickly stopped him. "Fish head badge, it seems that your subordinates lack sincerity." The threat from Bai Mei was strong, and as soon as the words fell, Hongtai's men and horses stood up one after another. The silver snake man and horse stood up with fierce fire as their head and looked at the person across the table. Fierce fire inadvertently exposed his gun at the waist. As Bai Mei's pupils contracted, Silver Snake's men and horses unexpectedly entered with cannons. The expression on the fish head catching Bai Mei's face, low-key and gentle, couldn't help but curl up the corners of his mouth and show an arrogant smile. He pretended to be easing the situation. Uncle Bai Mei, I'm not very sensible. Humph, Bai Mei can't handle these anymore. The other party has a large number of people, so whether to eat oneself to death tonight or find a way to get out of here before making plans. Let's talk about the fish head tag and how to dismantle it. Uncle Bai Mei, this matter needs to be dismantled. How does it count if your younger brother injured my son? Hey! Is Uncle Bai Mei dismantling this? Isn't it how your son wants to dismantle a woman who is stronger than the silver snake? The fish head emblem pretended to have a puzzled expression, and Lin Zishe chuckled inwardly. On the surface, her face was very cold. Uncle Bai Mei, who was originally sitting steadily, stood up and pointed at the fish head marker, unable to say a word for a long time. You. Uncle Bai Mei, just leave this matter to the crown prince. Bullying others too much. Bai Mei. What is it? Bai Mei stood up, and the fish head followed suit, making a louder sound than anyone else. The silver snake's men and horses drew their guns, and the gecko whistled with its index finger and thumb in its mouth. Shio. With the whistling of geckos and the influx of silver snakes carrying their belongings, thousands of people surrounded the entrance of Huaji restaurant, a pitch-black crowd. Lin Zishe twisted her neck and stood up, looking at Bai Mei with determination. Sorry for your ignorance. Give you face and call you Uncle Bai Mei, don't give you face and call you old guy. Lin Zishe pulled the crown prince's hair and pressed it down on the table, her eyes fixed on the prince's panicked expression. Bai Mei spared no words, and Hongtai's people dared not act recklessly. Hongtai's men watched helplessly as the leader's son was pinned down on the table by the Lin Zishe society. Crown Prince, we're meeting again, what do you want to do? This is. I pressed down on the Crown Prince with a fierce flame, feeling a bit melancholy and wanting to light a cigarette. You. The Crown Prince recalled last night when the Lin Zishe society lit up and his eyes trembled with fear. Lin Zishe lit the 7 stars in her hand and took a deep breath. Last night he only wanted to do business, and tonight he wants to start a relationship with another character, which is the martial arts world. Lin Zishe lowered her head and leaned her face very close to the Crown Prince, admiring his fearful gaze. He said the same thing as yesterday. Ah, open your mouth. Be good, open your mouth. Fierce fire pressed the Crown Prince with one hand and pinched his chin with the other. The Lin Zishe society landed the flushed cigarette butt on the Crown Prince's tongue and vigorously crushed it. This is the second time. The Crown Prince let out the same screams as yesterday, and Lin Zishe glanced at him. No one dared to look at Hongtai. Lin Zishe's gaze finally fell on Bai Mei's face. He opened the small bag and wiped the handkerchief paper. You don't know how to teach your son, let me teach you. Are you special? After midnight tonight, there will be no Hongtai. Even what the silver snake said, Jesus cannot stay. Lin Zishe society threw the tissue on the table, and the fish head marked that Lin Zishe society was almost there. He led the way down the stairs, and the passing Hongtai people consciously avoided it. The group left the Huaji restaurant, with Bai Mei sitting there dumbfounded. The Crown Prince beside him kept howling, thinking that his voice was so unpleasant. Lin Zishe society walked out of Huaji and saw a police car convoy parked 20 meters away from Huaji restaurant. 3 police officers were heading towards Lin Zishe society, led by West Kowloon Sheriff Wei Jixiang. Sir, what's going on? Silver Snake, don't play tricks. If you make us not sleep, I will definitely make you not sleep. Yu Tu Biao stood in front of the Lin Zishe society and said with a smile, Sir, it's just a negotiation with Hongtai today. It's better if it's what you said, fish head label. After Wei Jixiang warned the Lin Zishe society, he left with his own people. Lin Zishe squinted her eyes, Wei Jixiang from the infernal affairs. Huang Jixiang spoke with a heavy tone when talking about the fish head emblem, word for word. It seems that the police force may have already set their sights on the fish head emblem. After Lin Zishe and Huang Jixiang left, he smiled and said to the big shot Yu Biao, Ada, there's a great seafood restaurant in Sham Shui Po. Would you like to give it a try? Alright, Silver Snake. By May, you bastard, didn't even have a table full of dishes. It's perfect to try the seafood from Sham Shui Po. Ha ha ha, there will be plenty of seafood to eat in Sham Shui Po from now on. Ha ha ha, you kid. Lin Zishe and Yu Biao exchanged a smile, and after Sham Shui Po, they had already won with Liu Qiang. Lin Zishe got back in her own car this time and didn't have to cross-check with the big shot fishback. After the gecko saw the fish head tag on the car, he held on to the shoulder of Lin Zishe society, big or small. Ada, hello Wei. After midnight tonight, there will be no Hongtai. Even what the Silver Snake said, Jesus cannot stay. The gecko imitates the words of the Lin Zishe society with a false accent and tone. Lin Zishe reluctantly spread out her hand, and indeed, in front of her own people, she still lacked any prestige. Suddenly, seeing the gecko and the Lin Zishe society playing around as usual, he sighed and felt that Ada was still that Ada. Only Cao Dahua's smile was forced, and the friendly side of the Lin Zishe society was towards his own people, while treating outsiders with unbearable cruelty and violence. Lin Zishe's gaze was on it, and Cao Dahua forced a smile to appear at the corner of his mouth. That smile was so faded. Lin Zishe thought of Cao Dahua's undercover feelings, and he couldn't help but chuckle. Get in the car. Yes, Ada. Ruby stood aside, as if she had something to say. Lin Zishe tilted her head and let out a puzzled Ruby settled down, but she still decided to speak up. Ash, can you help me save Brother Xiang by the way? Okay. Lin Zishe glanced up and quickly agreed. Fierce Fire and Gecko are very dissatisfied with Ruby, and even after following the big shot, they want the big shot to save their old lover. Lin Zishe and others got on the car, and after instructing the Fierce Fire and Geckos on how to hit Hongtai, he quietly glanced at Cao Dahua and deliberately said, I heard that the Crown Prince has a CD factory, which actually sells fans. Do you want me to? Don't worry, I don't touch fans, even if it's someone else's. It's best to discover it when the police come to maintain order. Why don't we report it to the police and capture the Crown Prince and sit there for decades? Are you foolish, Gecko? Breaking the rules of the martial arts world. I'll just talk about it, and don't hit me on the head. I won't grow tall. Under the obvious suggestion from the Lin Zishe society, Cao Dahua's heart moved. Coincidentally, I was scolded by Mr. Huang today. This time, I have confessed to cracking down on the powder factory and returning to the police force to become the team leader. Now is fantasy time. Jinsha Seafood Restaurant, 21.40. After getting off the car, Cao Dahua, Menghua, and Gecko had to go to work. Only Lin Zishe, Yu Biao, and the plane had dinner. Yu Biao also brought some people over. The main job of Yu Biao is to become a fan, and his subordinates are only more formidable than those in the Lin Zishe society. After waiting for the instructions from Lin Zishe society, Yu Biao grabbed Lin Zishe society's shoulder and said earnestly, Silver Snake, sometimes you don't have to go all the way. I understand. I just wanted to open the film to make my face look so pale. Uncle Hongtai's mahjong table couldn't even fit together. I had to eat it before he could do this. Silver Snake, just know it, don't blame Adu for his mouth. How could it be, Ada? The plane following Fishback watched the situation of the Lin Zishe society tonight, and he was envious and wanted to come out and do something. Before, he either assassinated or transported goods. The Lin Zishe society ordered a full table, including 3 tables of people brought by the fish head label, including cheese-baked lobster, 2-headed dry abalone, East Star spot, salt and pepper long-legged crab, braised chicken with gelatin, and so on. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Hongtai and his son want to run away. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Hongtai and his son want to run away. Yu Tu Biao saw that Lin Zishe had ordered a full table of food for his subordinates, and he nodded in satisfaction. The silver snake defeated Hongtai, and I asked Deng Bo to promote you to become the hall leader. Thank you very much, Ada. Lin Zishe society doesn't care about the hall master or anything else. What he cares about is taking down the land in Sham Shui Pe and opening another entertainment city with money. There are two things in a club that can stand out: work and quantity. Lin Zishe society now has both, and the fish head is marked with a reason to help Deng Bo promote Lin Zishe society. Generally speaking, clubs are led by the leader, but the current leader boasts that the leader is a building block leader who has been strongly promoted, and has no power or influence to look at his uncle's eyes. Ruby, who understood the situation very well, helped fish head label tea and said thank you, asking him to take care of the Lin Zishe society. The fish head held a cup and laughed at the Lin Zishe society, while Ruby sat back in his seat upright. You're a woman who can flatter even better than you. You're my big shot. Do I need to flatter you? Let's talk about it. Eat some flour glue to nourish your body. It depends on how inflexible your legs and feet are. Ada is joking. My nickname Yao Ma Di Little Motor is not fake. In recent years, the little monk in Yamadiai has been the one. Your geckos even suspected that you liked that meal, so they used the back door. Ha ha ha. Is that what the gecko said? It seems he played less. Lin Zishe and Yu Tu Biao were delighted, and Lin Zishe raised her wine glass, a toast to Ada, wishing him good health. Drinking wins. Drinking wins. Yu Tu Biao and Lin Zishe raised their glasses with joy and laughter. The gecko gathered his troops and prepared to open a small lecture hall to fight chicken blood. After sweeping around the brothers with a fierce fire, he grabbed the gecko and asked, "Where are people?" "What person?" "Malanda." "Yeah, what are you thinking about when you want Malanda to slay someone?" The gecko waved his hand in anger, and he didn't mind Malanda's behavior of urinating when he started filming. The fierce fire couldn't help but pout. He spread out his hands and said, "Anyway, he's one of the Silver Snake Brothers' top horses. Not to mention leading the team, he always needs to show his face. Sigh, wait for 2 minutes and leave before you arrive. The toilet in the back alley of a salty and wet magazine shop is really smelly," Cao Dahua said, pinching his nose. "Huang sir. Who's pretending to be a ghost?" "Me, Ada." "Cao Dahua. How dare you call me? And why does your dead voice sound so strange? Nested in the toilet, there's a lot of material. What's the point? Don't tell me that Silver Snake wants to fight Hongtai. No, there is. You can't come up with a 123, but next time we meet, I'll give you a deadly scissor kick and blow your head off. Huang sir, the Crown Prince's CD factory is actually a powder stall. Okay. Ada, I knew you had a future early on. Who wouldn't know that you were the strongest undercover agent under my command? What?" Cao Dahua glanced at the phone and suspected that he had dialed the wrong number. The speed at which he changed his face was not inferior to having stars on his shoulder. Another sentence from Mr. Huang. "Who didn't know you were the strongest undercover agent under my command?" Upon hearing this sentence, Cao Dahua's pants were about to get wet. Hey, don't do it. As an undercover agent, many people know that Cao Dahua is preparing a coffin. Huang sir, stop playing and get serious. Hey, I didn't play. Even the police sweep knows you're an undercover agent under my command. What? Just a joke, don't be so nervous. I'll hang up for now. See you next time. Ahaha, see you next time. Cao Dahua finished the phone call with a smile on his face and hung up the phone. He was also a hero, cursing 3 words until he felt relieved. Cao Dahua walked out of the alley with a relaxed mood, and even picked up a salty and wet magazine. After finishing the chicken blood fight, the gecko saw Cao Dahua walking over with the latest issue of a salty and wet magazine, and suddenly went up to grab Cao Dahua's head and said, "Malanda. Where did you die again? Fierce brother, it's just going to the bathroom. You don't need to hold on to a middle-aged mature guy's head with such a heavy hand, right? Pick up, get on the car and set off, don't hold your head, I'm afraid you might urinate again. Brother Menghua, don't be so forceful, the old man is not under pressure." Bai Mei was summoning people when he slammed down the phone. "Ma, and Lianqing Silver Snake have already taken our Hongtai. How dare this bastard? Bai Mei, we don't have as many people as them, how can we have any solution? What are you saying?" To be honest, Tisk, Leopard Rong was indifferent on the side, while Hongtai had always been a member of the Bai Mei father-son club. He had no status or development in the club and helped the crown prince wipe his buttocks every day. Leopard Rong had already figured out how a club could develop with people like the crown prince in it. The crown prince named Wei Jixiang the woman who used to be the best at fighting and saving himself the most, and also wanted to seduce Wei Jixiang. However, he ended up with a woman who won the battle against the fierce silver snake. Leopard Rong had long recognized that the crown prince was a troublemaker. If he didn't have the ability, he would like to cause trouble, and if he didn't, he would only bully his own people. Leopard Rong couldn't stand the crown prince for a long time. Leopard Rong shook his head. "I am a son like the crown prince with white eyebrows. It's better to have a piece of barbecue than to have a crown prince." Bai Mei saw that the club was centrifugal and had to lower his head compared to others. He didn't want to fight anymore and planned to pack up his things and run past Ghana to join one of his brothers. "Pack up and leave quickly. Son, let's go quickly." The crown prince no longer had the anger he had before when he saw the silver snake. His courage was shattered by the silver snake. "Yes, Dad. Let's go and come back later to deal with this little kid." Leopard Rong watched as Hongtai's father and son were scared out of their wits, and he waved his hand, "I won't do it anymore." Without saying a word, the crown prince took out a knife and directly stabbed Bao Rong in the abdomen. Bao Rong looked at the knife in his stomach incredulously, and the crown prince stabbed several more times. The crown prince spoke fiercely in Bao Rong's ear, "How dare you look down on me? I want you to sell salted duck egg below." Leopard Rong pointed at the crown prince, and the blood flowing from his throat blocked his trachea. He couldn't say a word, and his hand pointing at the crown prince slowly lowered, causing him to collapse to the ground. The crown prince wiped the blood off his face with his sleeve, threw down his knife, and spat at Bao Rong's body. "Old man, you brought this on yourself." As soon as Bai Mei and the crown prince left the hiding room with their people, they were already caught by the Silver Snake brothers who were assigned to track them. He took the walkie-talkie in the car and said, "The mouse comes out of the hole, it looks like it's looking for rice." Received. In Sham Shui Pe, the gecko kicked open the door of the bar and shouted inwardly with a knife as they rampaged along with the Silver Snake team from Lianqing. "Working with Lianqing Silver Snake is not Hongtai's, let me go." As soon as the gecko finished speaking, there was no one left running in the venue. He stood in the empty bar with a confused expression on his face. The owner who was still staying at the bar handed a cigarette to the gecko. "Don't be so fierce with the younger generation of Lianqing. Hongtai dare not fight, just show off. If you feel uncomfortable, you can throw a few tables and chairs. Don't mess with my wine, it's expensive. If you really want to throw it, I'll make a few bottles of fake wine mixed with water for you to enjoy." The gecko heard the bar owner's words. "Aye." The gecko threw the knife to the ground and, dejectedly, took out money from his pocket to tell the boss, "I'm feeling very sad now, let's have a beer, frozen. I'll treat you." The gecko covered his head with both hands, and from last night until tonight, he was full of passion. He couldn't sleep last night for the sake of tonight, but the result was like this. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Wei Jixiang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Wei Jixiang. The situation on the other side of Menghua is also the same, except for Hongtai's own storefront, there are hardly anyone who can resist. Fierce Fire casually punched a few punches without interest, and he asked Hongtai's little brother, Blind Dog, do you know where Wei Jixiang is? It should be an abandoned building on Guangdong Road. I've been there once. You can tell the truth. Hongtai is gone, what's the point of being ignorant? The Fierce Fire led Hongtai's Blind Dog to ask him for directions. On the 8th floor of the abandoned building, I saw Wei Jixiang being locked in a dog cage. Wei Jixiang was covered in injuries and his lips were purple like a corpse. The Fierce Fire ordered his subordinates to break open the chains of the dog cage, and he called the Lin Zishe Society. Ada, we have found Wei Jixiang. Wei Jixiang's situation is not very good. Send him to the underground clinic to cure him for me. Ruby and I will go over now. Okay. Suddenly, Ho raised the collar of the Blind Dog and asked. The Blind Dog was so torn by his clothes that he couldn't catch his breath. Where is an underground clinic here? Duck duck. Liao Street. Take me there, little ones, carefully hold Wei Jixiang down. This is the person the boss wants. Okay. The fierce subordinates carefully dragged Wei Jixiang out of the dog cage, and a few people lifted Wei Jixiang down from the 8th floor. They murmured that Hongtai had nowhere to go. Bah. Wei Jixiang woke up at this moment, so weak that he couldn't even feel the pain. He said in a daze, water, water, I want to drink water. Brother, water only comes from below. If you must have water here, I have lemonade below now. Let's talk about water later. Don't worry, even the person Yan Wanya wants can't be taken away. Thank you. Did you faint again? Let's take a sniff first. Humph, it's lucky you didn't die. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to explain it to Grandpa. Lin Zishe took Ruby to the car and finished the meal earlier. After receiving the message, he told Ruby, I have found Wei Jixiang, his situation is not very good. Ash, why don't you go see Brother Xiang? I won't go see him anymore. Lin Zishe raised an eyebrow, but he knew Ruby's deep affection for Wei Jixiang. Are you really not going to see it? I won't mind. Ruby cast a cold glance at the Lin Zishe Society, and she said angrily, Ash, why do you also understand the trap set by women? It's weird if I don't mind. Just now when I told you to save Wei Jixiang, Fierce Fire and Gecko's eyes rolled over their heads. Lin Zishe pursed her lips, but in fact, he was a bit concerned. Your man is very generous. Stingy guy, thought I didn't see you're unhappy. Ruby seemed to have hidden many words in her heart, which eventually turned into not wanting to see Wei Jixiang. She took Lin Zishe's arm and leaned her head on his shoulder, saying, this is the last time I helped him, I don't want to see him again. Lin Zishe nodded slightly and got off the car. He followed Zhu Run to the underground clinic, and after Zhu Run glanced, he suddenly spoke of Ruby, Boss, I just prepared my burlap bag and waited for the boss to give me a command to sink into the sea. Fortunately, my sister Law knew the fun. Is your boss so evil? Yes, it's more evil than humans. I just hate Prince Hongtai. Lin Zishe smiled and patted Zhu Run's shoulder, saying, if Ruby finds it inappropriate, I'll let go. You're so handsome, you don't need to force love, even if you force 100 women, you won't get a true heart. There are many women, it's great you're a rough person who understands love. To be honest, the big shot is so handsome. I think being with only one woman is a loss for the world, and we should sow more seeds. Lin Zishe was amused by the simple and rough guy Zhu Run, and he couldn't help but laugh. You're right, your boss is so handsome, being with only one woman is a loss to the world. There are many women, it's great. Isn't that correct, big shot? Yes. That big shot, I'm not entirely right. Zhu Run is really smart. The phone from Lin Zishe rang, and he listened to the report from the Ma Zai who was following Hongtai's father and son. Since his silver snake stepped on the land of Sham Shui Pe, Hongtai's father and son had no intention of leaving. Boss, Hongtai and his son have packed many suitcases. Follow them until they finish packing up and run away, give me a call. Okay, big shot. Cao Dahua finished tidying up the mess and was blowing water in the bar, drinking cold beer and eating peanuts. You all don't know, as soon as I appeared, those Hongtaizai kids surrendered immediately. Malanda truly deserves to be the Silver Snake Brothers' head horse, as expected. None of the little brothers present have seen Malanda do things before. Cao Dahua is a popular figure around the Linzi society, and whoever is praised is determined by the law. No matter how smelly their feet are, they have to hold them hard. At this moment, a clever young man accused the young man just now, saying, "Isn't it called Malanda? I think we should change our name to Mawangda." Upon hearing this, Cao Dahua felt a surge of excitement in his heart. His nickname on the road began to change, proving that he was out of place. He pretended to be serious. "Well, I think it should be changed. After all, the boss wants to give me a few streets, and it's not surprising that the horse pen business will give me in the future." The little brothers present were like the Atmosphere group from 30 years later, shouting wildly at Ma Wangda. Ma Wangda, Ma Wangda. Cao Dahua felt quite comfortable now, feeling that he had finally received an answer sheet in nearly 20 years. Cao Dahua's phone rang, and he picked up the phone with a tug. "Hey, who's looking for Ma Wangda?" "Ada, what new tricks are you doing?" Cao Dahua immediately shrank his neck when he heard Huang Sir's voice. He looked around at the horses looking at him one by one. He coughed and said, "The boss has something to talk about, I'll go talk on the phone first." Wow, Ma Wangda is indeed a popular figure around Silver Snake Brother. Silver Snake Brother is calling. He really values Ma Wangda. After the younger brothers couldn't see Cao Dahua's back, they all breathed a sigh of relief and wiped the sweat from their foreheads. This stinky job is not so easy to do. Cao Dahua whispered into the phone, "Now it's safe, what's up with Huang Sir? Is Hongtai's father and son dead or alive now?" "Huang Sir, I'm leading a team to sweep the streets outside." "How do I know? Do you sweep the streets? Do you work as a cleaner?" "I am also a person of status now. Silver Snake gave me a few streets, and help. I called you Ma Wangda. Can Ma Wangda help me ask your boss, Silver Snake? It's really urgent." "Huang Sir, what's so urgent? Didn't the factory find it? Do you also know that the factory has been found? How can Hongtairen be counted as dead? There is no mastermind, and the credit is much less. Do you want me to find Wei Jixiang as a scapegoat? This goes against my justice. I'll try to ask for you, don't have too many expectations." After Cao Dahua hung up the phone, he looked at his big brother and sighed, "The Silver Snake is so evil. When he suddenly asks this question, will he suspect that he is an undercover agent?" End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Crown Prince's Death. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Crown Prince's Death. Wei Jixiang spent over an hour recuperating and regained consciousness. Most of Wei Jixiang's injuries are skin injuries, which are more severe injuries caused by the electric stick in his waist. Wei Jixiang, who had come to his senses, said to Menghua, "Thank you, Brother Fierce Fire, for saving my life. It's not me, it's my big shot, Silver Snake. Thank you, Silver Snake Brother, for helping me. I will." The door of the underground clinic was pushed open, and Wei Jixiang's dim eyes lit up. He saw that the people coming were Lin Zishe and Zhu Run. "Big shot. Big shot." Lin Zishe nodded slightly and pulled out the chair to sit in front of Wei Jixiang. Wei Jixiang struggled to hold back the pain and stood up, wanting to sincerely thank Lin Zishe. "Silver Snake Brother is here. Thank you, Silver Snake Brother saved me." Lin Zishe stood up and stopped Wei Jixiang, letting him lie down in bed. He picked up a small knife and picked up the apples. "Don't thank me. If you want to thank me, thank Ruby. It was Ruby who begged me to save you. Upon hearing that Ruby was going to save him, Wei Jixiang's originally dim smile lit up. Silver Snake brother, what about Ruby? She doesn't want to see you. You should be clear about what you did that day. Wei Jixiang's eyes were confused. He pursed his lips and forced a smile to appear at the corner of his mouth. Yes, I've been like that. How could Ruby want to see me? Silver Snake brother, thank you Ruby for helping me. The Lin Zishe Society did not respond, just sharpened the apple with a small knife. He said meaningfully, if we don't keep moving forward on the path of the martial arts world, we won't be able to protect our family, friends, brothers, or ourselves. Wei Jixiang listened to Lin Zishe's words and fell into contemplation, recalling his past. If Lin Zishe perfectly peeled off the apple skin, and he cut a small piece and handed it to Wei Jixiang, there is no if in life. The past is like clouds and smoke. If there was still a chance to appear in front of you, would you seize the moment? You take down the crown prince, I'll give you a chance to talk to me. Wei Jixiang looked at the apple in Lin Zishe's hand and remembered his deceased wife. He only wanted to live a good life and didn't want to deal with worldly affairs. From the few words spoken on the phone by Menghua, he knew that Hongtai was gone, so he also escaped from the martial arts world and could spend time with his son. Wei Jixiang raised his smiling face and shook his head with a furrowed expression. Silver Snake brother, I can't do these things. Lin Zishe placed the apple in her hand on a tissue and took out a wet tissue to slowly wipe her hands. He was really disappointed. In the movie, Hongtai and Morning Wave were designed due to hatred awakening, and the character Xiangdi who eliminated the entire character and the enemy together would not appear. The Xiangdi who walked up the stairs in a denim jacket wrapped in a machete will not appear anymore. Lin Zishe turned around and left, and Wei Jixiang said from behind, Silver Snake brother, don't misunderstand my relationship with Ruby. My deceased wife has a particularly good relationship with her. Pa. Lin Zishe slapped Wei Jixiang's face and he looked at him seriously. Who do you deserve in your lifetime? Wei Jixiang lowered his head and silently caressed his face. Lin Zishe took out a cigarette from Zhu Run's chest pocket and lit it. In the martial arts world, Long had hurt many people due to Wei Jixiang's cowardice. Lin Zishe Society left with Menghua and others, and Menghua looked at Wei Jixiang with great interest. Lin Zishe walked out of the underground clinic and stretched lazily. He smiled and patted Hua's shoulder, asking, Sham Shui Pe, are you interested? I'm interested, Ada. Leave it to you to take care of, I want to focus on the entertainment city. Ada, I will definitely take good care of it. Lin Zishe sat back in the car and saw that Ruby's expression was not good. He pinched Ruby's face and asked, I've seen it for you, he's in good condition. If Wei Jixiang still has something to do, would you speak up to help him? I don't know. Lin Zishe threw the cigarette in her hand by the window. Ruby's determination towards Wei Jixiang, like Sandy, the lawyer who later fell in love with Wei Jixiang, is it a coincidence that neither of them will turn back in the end? Or is it a human issue? Lin Zishe's eyes met Ruby's, and he pulled her hair and said, the Morning Wave is about to be released from prison, and Wei Jixiang may die. Well, I got it. Lin Zishe Society answered the phone and received a report from Ma Zai who was tracking Hongtai and his son. Hongtai and his son were preparing to rush to Quiet Sing Ferry Terminal, collect the net and catch the Rat King. Boss, get it. Lin Zishe played a police operation, but after a bit of addiction, it ended up being called a big shot instead of a police officer, which was a bit of a show. Hongtai and his son were sitting in a rudimentary van, with bags filled with gold, silver, jewelry, and cash on the ground. Bai Mei specially instructed someone to change to an inconspicuous van. Bai Mei's mood was very tense, he was only half an hour away from Quiet Sing Ferry Pier. The whole van stumbled, and the violent impact caused the van to stumble. Everyone in the van had not yet woken up from the impact when they were pulled out of the van. The young man who collided with the van felt dizzy and disoriented. He lay on the airbag and said weakly, "I'm so dizzy, it's my first collision. I'm also feeling dizzy. I can't do it, I'm also feeling dizzy." Below, He Lianzi joked and called out the dizzy Qing Tu Zai. Their leader, red-headed, patted their heads one by one. "Don't play around, you're doing something. Bring the young man down and take him to the hospital." "Okay, big shot. Search all the people inside, and if you hide the cannon, something big will happen." "Yes, big shot." More than 40 minutes later, Lin Zishe arrived at the scene and saw Hongtai and others all tied up with ropes, resembling criminals. He crouched down and looked at the Crown Prince. "Crown Prince, it's our third time meeting. Don't, Silver Snake brother, don't, Silver Snake brother, I beg you. Don't want it. Don't want anything. Don't kill me, Silver Snake brother." "How could I kill someone, stupid pig?" Lin Zishe waved her hand and held a burlap bag with her bare head, skillfully stuffing stones inside and tying 2 layers of burlap bags with ropes. "Drive away and don't let anyone know the location." "Okay, Silver Snake brother. Let's throw away the rest as well. I'll go answer the phone." "Okay, Silver Snake brother." Lin Zishe picked up the phone and stepped on the reef by the shore, while Cao Mengda on the other end remained silent for a long time. Finally, he spoke of the extremely fleshy Silver Snake brother. "Silver Snake brother. Uncle De, what are you doing?" "Silver Snake brother, I want to ask you, how are Hongtai and his son? Do you want me to help you kill him? Malanda, you really have a heart. Ada, I really want to do something." Lin Zishe stepped on the reef and picked up thin pieces of stone from the ground. She casually threw them out and floated 3 times before sinking. He shook his head. "Uncle De is not suitable for club life, so let him make contributions and return to the police force. I just sunk the Crown Prince and plan to have Bai Mei walk to Kwai Tsing Pier to run away. It's about half an hour away from Kwai Tsing Pier, right? Then I don't have to do anything. Uncle De, live a good life in the future and don't have to think about beheading people anymore." "Ada, are you joking? I'm strong and can chop off a few offspring without any problem." Yes, I'll hang up if it's okay." Lin Zishe looked at the horizon in the distance, and he really wanted to tell Uncle De to go back to the police force and live a good life. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Rising Fame. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Rising Fame. Lin Zishe walked up to the shore and looked at her henchmen wearing burlap bags. "Release your white eyebrows, someone is pleading." "Ah. Release it, yes, Silver Snake brother." Lin Zishe patted Bai Mei's face and said, "Old man, if someone helps you plead for mercy, I'll let you go and be a good person in the future." "The Crown Prince. I'll give you a call to ask." "Thank you, Silver Snake brother." Bai Mei knew in her heart that the Lin Zi society didn't want to let the Crown Prince go. What else did he have to ask for at this moment? Fiercely carrying Bai Mei's 7 or 8 travel bags, Lin Zishe laughed and threw Bai Mei's shoes into the sea. Barefoot Bai Mei had a worried expression on his face. He didn't even know when his gold labor had been taken away, and his big brother was gone. He could only walk barefoot to Kuiqing Pier, unsure if time would catch up. Cao Dahua, who had just received the information on the other end, immediately called Huang Sir, thinking that he was going back to the police force. "Huang Sir, Bai Mei is heading to Kwai Tsing Pier alone, preparing to run away." "Well done, what about the Crown Prince?" "I don't know, Silver Snake didn't say anything. I remember you for your contribution, and I believe you will soon return to the police force." Quickly. "Huang Sir, isn't it? This matter isn't enough to go back to the police force." "There's no way." Silver Snake suddenly stepped out and became a big fish. "You're close to him. Do you want the police to find someone else to go undercover?" "I'm hanging on to you, old fool. Do you know how I've been living in the past 18 years? I'm not human, I'm not ghost. Don't bring me back to the police force yet. Cao Dahua was shocked to hear the bad news and cursed loudly. Cao Dahua is really old and can't play in this circle of the martial arts world. Director Huang Bingyao took off his police cap and scratched his hair with his hand. Huang Bingyao sighed, he couldn't bear it either, but it was not something he could decide. Cao Dahua comes from a police academy but has never enjoyed a day as a police officer. It has been 7 years since he took over, and his entire undercover career has been 18 years. Huang Bingyao took a breath and straightened his mind. He walked out of the office and shouted forcefully, "Do something, go to Quaitsing Ferry Pier." "Yes, sir." Police cars were flashing red and blue lights as they headed towards Quaitsing Ferry Pier. When Bai Mei was caught, he was sitting on the roadside digging his feet, feeling uncomfortable stepping on gravel. Bai Mei, surrounded by the police, clenched his right hand and smashed it hard onto the ground. "Gone. Bai Mei, you have been arrested. It's not necessary for you to speak, but what you said will become evidence in court." Bai Mei stretched out his hands and was handcuffed with a silver bracelet. He lowered his head in despair and was stuffed into the police car. "Officer, what time is it now?" "At 11:53. Before 12 o'clock, Hongtai was gone." Bai Mei murmured in a low voice as if talking nonsense, and the police officer beside him smiled. Upon returning home, Lin Zishe lay relaxed on the sofa, with Ruby placing his hands around Lin Zishe's neck. Lin Zishe touched Ruby's white and delicate arms and asked, "What's wrong?" Ruby bent down to reveal the pure white of her chest, helping Lin Zishe look up and down at the wound. Her meticulous and attentive appearance was very attractive. In 2 hours Lin Zishe stroked Ruby's hair and pressed it against her earlobe, saying, "Ruby. It will be okay in the future." Ruby looked at the handsome Linzi society with tenderness. The next day, in Yaomati, there was a strong atmosphere of discussion and victory over the silver snake in tea restaurants, and streets. Last night, and Liancheng's silver snake were truly impressive. After midnight tonight, there will be no Hongtai. Even what the silver snake said, Jesus cannot stay. Silver Snake Mazai was rampaging around Sham Shui Pa, and no one dared to stop him. That situation is just like the Silver Snake Land. One of the old gods was drinking Mandarin duck milk tea, and he smiled. To be honest, it was the Crown Prince of Hongtai who caused the trouble. "Ah, what? Do you know what kind of material? I'm a bit hungry. I want to eat forked chicken rice, but unfortunately I didn't bring any money downstairs. I told you earlier, I want to have forked chicken rice." "Dude, a plate of forked chicken rice will be sent here, it's on my list." Only then did Lian Shengzi sit up straight while eating. All of this is because Crown Prince Hongtai wants a woman who can become a silver snake. Surprisingly, this is the case. That day, Silver Snake went to Sham Shui Pa to find her woman, only to find out that the Crown Prince wanted to take care of her. Later, you all know that Bai Mei ran away and was caught, and the Crown Prince went missing. The Crown Prince is so arrogant, sooner or later there will be such a calamity. It's really funny that Hongtai's place is so small, and he still wants to compete and win together. A group of antique enthusiasts sitting together were chatting and talking about the relationships between clubs, as if they were out of place. At night, they had to park their cars and collect tips. I never expected the Silver Snake to be so imposing. What are you talking about? Who doesn't know Silver Snake in Yaomati? Who doesn't go to Silver Snake's place to play? When the name spreads, you'll know how big a person is. It's really impressive. I've brought 100 cars to surround Hongtai, and I still need to collect Hongtai's skin before 12 o'clock. Lin Zishe brought Ruby to the unopened Silver Snake Entertainment City in Yaomati, where he was introducing Ruby, the first-floor lobby buffet, the second-floor massage sauna, the third-floor bar, the fourth-floor nightclub, the fifth-floor office, and the 67th floor are accommodation rooms. Ah, the decoration is so luxurious. At first, I didn't want to be in this tycoon style. I wanted a low-key and luxurious light luxury style, just like the style of a central cafe. So why? Lin Zishe helplessly pointed to herself and said, I'm from Liancheng, and all the people who come to support me are Jianghu guests. They understand fart, each one is as smooth as a pig, with dragons and phoenixes, and the brighter the color, the better. Ruby couldn't help but cover her mouth and smile when she saw the Lin Zishe society, which looked like a child venting her anger. The same goes for the guests I've seen before. Hey, just make some money. I hope we don't fight every day. Since my venue became popular, there have been so many people that we can start fighting if we have to deal with trivial matters. Isn't this very troublesome? Even if there are fights every day, everyone still goes to my field. I heard a 49th guy say, if you don't come to your field for a day, you'll fall behind in information and can't even talk to friends. It seems that Silver Snake Brothers' performance is very popular. I can't even understand. Ruby has seen such a real Lin Zishe society for the first time, and the Lin Zishe society she has seen in the past few days is full of authority and violence. In fact, people from Lin Zishe society are very nice. Even if their subordinate 49 doesn't get angry after making a joke, they will still talk and laugh with 49, and the people around them also respect him very much. Lin Zishe looked at Ruby and said, does Ruby want to help me manage the entertainment city? Well, good. Ruby, if you don't want to, you can talk to me. No, I want to help you. Ruby's index finger was placed on Lin Zishe's lips, and Lin Zishe smiled and pinched her face. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Deng Bo, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Deng Bo, the big brother of Lin Zishe society, rang. He answered the phone, and there was a fish head sign on the other end of the phone. Silver Snake, Deng Bo wants to see you at the Spirit Restaurant. No problem, duh. I'll go over now. Silver Snake, perform well. This is an opportunity, seize it. Don't worry, Ada. I have a sense of propriety. Lin Zishe said 2 words to Yu Tu Biao to hang up the phone, and he told Ruby, wait for uncle, you go home first. Send my sister Law home in a fierce fire, and call Qi Ren back to the company for a meeting at 8 p.m. in the evening. Okay, Ada. Upon hearing the call for a meeting, Menghua's heart heated up and he must have fulfilled his previous words. On the other end of the phone, the fish head sign and plane were sitting on a fishing boat for a meal. The dishes were very diverse, including 3 steamed lobsters with garlic vermicelli, steamed small groupers, and white roasted vegetable hearts. The fish head emblem was sandwiched with a vegetable heart, and he glanced at the plane that was thinking about something. Airplane, let's eat. Ada, I don't want to ship anymore. Do you want to go out and hang out when you see the Silver Snake rise to power? Ada, no, The fish head patted the shoulder of the plane, and he smiled and said, the plane, Ada understands. If you really want to go out, I'll divide a few streets for you. If you need anything, you can find Silver Snake. The airplane's eyes were blazing, and he smiled as he nodded heavily at the fish head marker. The fish head rubbed against the head of the plane, knowing that the plane had a solitary personality and was not suitable for wandering on the road. With the care of the Silver Snake, there should be no problem. The fish head specimen was thought to be inherited by a plane after retirement, but now it's gone. Silver Snake won't take over his position, he told himself. He hates fans. A spirited restaurant. Lin Zishe arrived at the Spirit Restaurant and spoke gently to Lianqing Mazai, as usual. After searching behind, Lin Zishe saw Deng Bo, who was overweight and holding a cane. He saw Lin Zishe laughing happily. Silver Snake. Deng Bo. Silver Snake, have you eaten anything yet? Deng Bo, not yet. The bowl has been scalded, just eat it directly. Thank you very much, Deng Bo. Lin Zishe picked up bowls and chopsticks to pick up her favorite shrimp dumplings. Deng Bo was observing him, and he was also observing Deng Bo. Deng Bo didn't feel timid when he saw the silver snake. He ate boldly under his own gaze, and this kid had courage. Deng Bo thoroughly understood the causes and consequences of the opening of the film between Silver Snake and Hongtai, and he saw the fierce publicity. However, from the mouths of his brothers in Yaomati, Deng Bo received another answer sheet, which was easygoing, generous, and valued loyalty. Deng Bo's gaze was on Lin Zishe's face, and he nodded secretly. Silver Snake was a good seedling. Silver Snake, Fishhead Beacon told me he wants to promote you to become the master of Sham Shui Pa. What do you think? Deng Bo, it doesn't matter whether you're the main hall leader or not. The land I've taken down won't be distributed to anyone, it's something my brothers fought for. Oh. Deng Bo could see that the Linzi society really didn't care about the position of the hall master, or rather, he didn't want to rise to the throne at all, just wanted to manage his own land well and take care of his brothers. Deng Bo nodded again. He liked people who were conducive to the stability and development of the club the most. Unlike that Big D who is arrogant and doesn't show any respect to his uncles and elders. Deng Bo began to talk about the deeds of the Silver Snake over the years. The several rotten ghost streets marked by your boss Fish Head are almost rotten to the ground. Under your management, they have come back to life and gained fame in various word titles. There is also a saying circulating on the road, if you know how to play, go to Yaomati. And Yaomati specifically refers to you, the match between Lianqing Silver Snake. Lin Zishe nodded and listened, not feeling afraid because Deng Bo spoke out one thing at a time, his affairs were all brought to the surface. Deng Bo stopped talking when he saw the indifferent attitude of Lin Zishe. Deng Bo looked at the Lin Zishe with spring rolls in his eyes, and could not scare the boy. He was originally demonstrating how deep his influence was with Lianqing, but Lin Zishe nodded. Deng Bo awkwardly coughed and began the next step. Silver Snake, what do you want to do as the hall leader? Open an entertainment city to make money. Is it gone? It's gone. Deng Bo nodded, more convinced that Lin Zishe was the person he wanted. He stood up with a cane and walked straight towards the door. Silver Snake, Deng Bo is going back to walk the dog. You can have lunch here. Okay, Deng Bo. Lin Zishe spread out her hands, picked up roasted wheat and put it into the import. Deng Bo is leaving now. Didn't say anything either. Promised the big shot to fight for the fish head badge, he has tried his best. When Lin Zishe was alone drinking tea and eating dim sum, he lost interest and threw his chopsticks out of the restaurant. Yaomati, 20.00. Lin Zishe and Ruby came from home to Yaomati, and there was always an indescribable shyness in Ruby's eyes. Linzi society grabbed Ruby's waist and walked into the company. The already arrived members of the company, such as Fierce Fire, Gecko, and Malanda, called out to Linzi society, Ada. 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 The sound of neat and uniform big shots. Lin Zishe nodded while holding Ruby's hand. Enter the office. Okay, big shot. The gecko couldn't help but rub its hands. Now that the big shot Silver Snake has expanded its territory, it can at least divide itself into several streets. The days of wind and rain are coming. The gecko gave a glance to Fierce Fire, and Fierce Fire cast a single glance. Cao Dahua looked around with his head held high and his chest held high, searching for the taste of a big shot. The person sitting next to Lin Zishe in the seat is Ruby. Brothers, there's no need to say anything. Menghua is the best at fighting. The new venue in Sham Shui Po will be managed by Menghua, the horse pen in Yaomati will be managed by Malanda, and the rest will be handled by geckos. Break up the meeting. The call came to an end, and the gecko covered its head with both hands and shouted out, "Ah! Silver Snake brother, can you have a sense of ceremony? Last night, it was the same. I originally wanted to show off my authority, but it didn't stop there. I was even teased by the bar owner. Lin Zishe flicked the gecko's forehead with her finger and smiled as she watched the gecko whispering softly, "Gecko, what kind of ritual do you want? Do you want to display a banner or reward the little red flower?" The gecko rubbed its forehead and whispered, "Anyway, it's important to have a sense of ceremony, so I can only say a few words, and I can't say too much." "Monster Gecko, you have so many things to deal with." Lin Zishe took out the number book from the cabinet, threw it at each person, kicked it with his foot, and closed the cabinet. He clapped his hands. "Each person has one book for the number book, and the Fierce Fire book is new. The old accounts of Sham Shui Pe in the new territory will be added to this book. You big shots have something to do and will leave first." "Demon boss, why are you doing this?" Lin Zishe stretched lazily and got up to grab Ruby's waist. "You just take good care of it, and in the future, you'll take care of those scattered matters yourself. You'll make your own decisions about small things, and come to me for big things. You take 10% of it yourself every month." At this moment, Cao Dahua, who was least expected, raised his hand and everyone's gaze gathered on his face. "Malanda actually has something to say. Ada, can I change Malanda to Ma Wangda? I already have a younger brother calling me that." "Okay, Ma Wangda." Lin Zishe rubbed his eyes in a spicy way, and he agreed to Cao Dahua's small wish. Linzi society is really tired of those constant small things, and they don't have to work night shifts anymore. End of this chapter.